I am Slick Nick, and if anyone can overcome COVID, it's Slick Nick. COVID is no match for Slick Nick. So as you all know, this is day number 4 of me officially knowing that I have COVID, as I have the documentation, which I showed in my first couple of videos. Today's day number 4. I do like to go through some of the comments that I've received from the day before. That's sort of how this series works, the COVID Chronicles. Before I do that though, what I want to do is describe any new development, how I feel since yesterday's video. So I want to start out by saying, physically, I have the most energy today. So to put in perspective, right now it's 10:15 a.m. I woke up about 3 hours ago at 7:30. And what's funny is, yes, I've drank like a lot of water. I've drank like, I think, a half a gallon of water today, but no coffee. Not even in I'm not even thinking I need coffee. I'm not even thinking about that. Maybe I'll have some after I shoot the video just to kind of get the day going. But as far as energy goes, I just got back from what I'm calling a sun walk, S-U-N, sun walk. So before I talk about that, let me explain that I am experiencing, in theory, insomnia to some degree. Last night was just like the night before, where I woke up around 2:30 a.m. and then it took me 90 minutes to go back to sleep. Last night it took me 2.5 hours to fall back. So I woke up at 2:30 a.m. and then I was awake until about 5 a.m. until I finally went back to sleep just for another 2.5 hours and woke up a couple more hours and woke up at 7:30. So I'm getting less sleep, but it's not that I'm tired now, and it's not that I'm lacking energy. This is the most energy I've had. So in my insomnia last night, I was watching my favorite YouTubers, Thomas DeLauer, as well as Dr. Berg. And so Dr. Berg has a new video talking about how the treatment for COVID and preventive measures for it is being out in the sun. He has, in his new video, he talked about how when you look at, I want to say it was in Sweden, there is a community of Somali immigrants, and they are the main ones dying from COVID there. And he explained that not only do they have darker skin, but because they're Muslim, they wear certain things where they're mainly covered up, so they're not getting the sun exposure that the natives are, and how they're dying, and saying that ultimately you want to get exposure to the sun, which I've already known about this when COVID started. But I thought, okay, today's the first day I've had energy to actually walk. And honestly, it's the first day where I can walk straight. I was still doing my job, working from the kitchen, doing my actual job, but all I had to do was sit in a chair and talk on a phone. And today, I was able to go and walk. And it's funny because I checked my phone and I want to see what the weather's gonna be. Well, when I was leaving for my walk, it was still like right around 40 degrees, but it showed the sun with no clouds. And I was like, how hot is it gonna get today? Well, here in Tennessee today, it's gonna be getting peaking at 65 degrees today, but it showed the sun with clouds. I'm like, well, what would I rather have? Would I rather have a warmer walk and less exposure to the sun, or no clouds in the sky and have the sun on me the whole time? Well, I've been training for this anyway. Obviously, I'm not going to the gym right now, but as I have before COVID happened and I was going to the gym, I was still walking, 30 minutes. Is that what I usually do? Yes, and 25, 30 minutes a day. So I decided I'm just going to double that. I'm going to try to do an hour. It turns out it was an hour and 10 minutes, what I'm going to call a sun walk, where I walked out in my neighborhood for over an hour and 10 minutes to be exact when I got back. And I was constantly having to go back and forth to each side of the street, because if I was walking on a side where there's a lot of houses, it would block the sun. So I was basically just almost chasing the sun to some degree. I also want to point out what I'm wearing, knowing that it was about 40 degrees when I first started. So I have this sweater here, which I was able to roll up the sleeves. It's a black sweater with a black puffy vest over it to trap in the heat. So very dark colors, but I rolled up the sleeves to get exposure on my arms. And then I'm wearing short shorts so I could get all of my legs covered here. and dark, also dark, so just dark colors. And then I did wear a hat for a little bit of it, but then I was like, I don't really need a hat to stay warm, so I took off the hat just to get a little bit more exposure on my head for the sun. So in addition to having enough energy to walk for the first time since I've, here on day number 4, also this is the first day where I'm not experiencing kind of the dizziness and the inability to walk straight. And also what I was explaining yesterday about how it was like my eyes weren't recording every second of what was happening. So it was like it would miss beats, So that's gone away. But again, with insomnia, that's a real thing, but I'm not tired either. So I didn't really get a lot of sleep, and also lack of appetite. Yesterday, I didn't eat any, other than some coffee with some coconut oil and some basically butter in it, ghee. I didn't really consume any calories until like after 5. And even then it was eggs, it was some baked potatoes with avocado and a salad, and then my whey protein smoothie that had some blueberries and cherries in it. And that was all I ate. I mean, it was not that many calories for a whole day. So today I am going to focus more on trying to consume more calories, but even now it's 10:20 and I haven't even thought about coffee, only water. But yet I have plenty of energy now. And that's something too about the insomnia last night. My mind was wide awake. And, I want to point this out. There's part of it that kind of intensifies my midlife crisis existential, mindset that I already have, is that I know I'm not going to die from COVID. I know that. I know that demographically I've got everything going for me. It's going to be fine. But last night, my son saw how unwell I was feeling last night. I was feeling pretty bad last night, and I overheard him ask my wife, he said, "Is Daddy going to be okay?" And it is interesting to think a lot of people have died from this year. Demographically, I'm not. I mean, I'm someone who very much takes care of myself, and being 39, I'm not that old to where it's really going to be an issue. But just knowing that you could, and you're trying to fall asleep and you can't fall asleep, and thinking, what if I really didn't wake up from this? Those thoughts are there, I'll admit that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the comment section. Usually I aim to do 8-minute videos because YouTube rewards those videos the most. And by the way, if you are enjoying these videos, do me a favor and like the video, because that will mean that more people will be able to see it on YouTube. It helps me on the algorithm. Okay, so looking at yesterday's video, which was called COVID Chronicles Day 3. This is the most convenient time to get COVID, 2 weeks before Christmas. It's funny, this is the greatest amount of dislikes. I got 4 dislikes instead of 1 like I've been getting. But 104 views, 17 comments, and 8 thumbs up. So I want to go through a few of these comments to see, and two, I want to point out that what's unique about these videos is you're seeing me just being completely normal, taking away my whole stage persona that I usually have in my other videos. And it's kind of opening the door for people to ask me questions that aren't related to the stuff I usually talk about. But, okay, let me see. This is interesting. There's a whole theory about, I'm gonna have to get that in a minute. So Frankie Hatcher Reacts says, hope you recover soon. We've got praying hands and a heart. Our friend Dosh Shaw says, hope you have a speedy recovery. I tested positive a couple days ago, but I am asymptomatic. 3 thumbs up on that. And Andrew Moss says, good to see you've got your Christmas tree up. To which it is funny because I've been shooting these videos in front of my Christmas tree. And it may not have been obvious that, we have a little Christmas tree because we go to my parents' house for Christmas and they have a full-size one. So it's like, well, we can still fit all the kids' ornaments on this one. But I will close with a very silly, funny comment I just love. It's funny because we all know what I normally talk about in my videos, the thing that produces the most ad revenue. So let me just close with this one from Slugover, which Slugover, I don't know if he changed his name or if he's just a new funny person, but I like Slugover's comments. He says this, quote, Nick has had a hair transplant. Proof his wife hasn't been in a video with him since June 30th, 2020, 163 days, causing him to get a hair transplant to try and win her back. Nick started wearing the Christian necklace because he prays for his wife to come back to him. Nick also dedicating a song to her called Her Photo Doesn't Do Her Justice. It is a photo, all he has left of her. Nick obsesses over his upcoming 40th birthday in April, which will mark 10 months from when he had the transplant. The transplant was a birthday gift to himself because his wife would never have allowed him to have one when they were married. He finally spent the ad revenue from the past 5 years of making 4 videos a day in the same t-shirt. His scalp is still red, and that is why he has his hair down and no longer combed up. To which I responded, quote, "I'm not denying this theory. Your comments belong right here."